Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about my ringneck pheasants. I have three, actually that's not true, I have four, right? So I have this guy, right? He's my main ringneck pheasant. I actually had a bunch of them. I gave a lot away, I sold a bunch, I let a bunch go. These aren't regular ringnecks, they're Mongolian ringnecks. So they're definitely a lot bigger than the regular ringnecks. They also have a lot more orange here, or this gold color. Magnificent bird. I mean, truly magnificent looking. It's got the red under the eye. It's got this purple, this deep purple that turns greenish. It's got this white ring, this gold feathers. Really pretty. I actually have his wings clipped, as you can see, just so if he gets out of his pen, he doesn't just take off flying. Since he's my last male, right, I need him to breed more females and stuff. I'm sorry, to breed with the females and get some eggs, and I can produce them. And the main goal with me having ringnecks is I want to breed a bunch of ringnecks, right? I have about an acre property. My whole property is fenced. And then in front of the fence, I have the green giant arborvitaes, which is, I'm trying to build a giant hedge, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to breed these guys out, right? Get a bunch of eggs, hatch them out, raise the babies, try to feed them. Now, no matter what I do, even like I'll catch a female that I bred out of him, and they are skittish, no matter what. They are skittish. If you look at my hands, you could see how scratched up I got just from catching him. He hits me with his talons, scratches me up, you know, just super skittish. Compared to my golden pheasants, they'll run up to me, kind of hang out with me, no problems. This guy, super skittish, but I do think it's a beautiful bird, and they're indigenous, right? So there's other ringnecks walking around and stuff like that. And sometimes during the breeding season, which is coming up in February, they start calling, and then I have wild pheasants just hanging out in my yard, which I think is pretty awesome. But what I'd like to do is I would like to get these pheasants and let them breed, use this guy for breeding purposes, and then hatch out a ton of eggs, raise the babies. And once September hits, October hits, and maybe what I'll do is I'll clip their wings, the babies, and they grow their wings back in a few months, like 2-3 months, and just let them go in the acre property, right? So they'll roam around. Some might get eaten by hawks, some might not. Hopefully none of them do. Hopefully there'll be more than enough brush in my yard, since I'm making all these nature trails and bird gardens and so on, so there'll be places for them to hide. And hopefully they will just start to live in the property. You know, they say with birds or any animal, they need a couple things. They need food, they need water, and they need shelter, right? And they should start residing in your property. It would be amazing to have just a flock of wild pheasants that naturally live in my backyard. And not only just pheasants, I would love to have quail. And like I said, I definitely want to have, I'm building out a nature trail. So as I walk through the nature trail, it's going to be pretty nice to see, a flock of pheasants, a flock of quail, some pigeons hanging out, just exotic birds, just kind of on their own, doing their thing. I can leave them alone. I'll set up little feeding stations, so they definitely have food. I'll grow some food that, provides grain and grasses for them to eat, because they are herbivores. They do eat insects, so I should say, I'm sorry. They're omnivores. They definitely eat insects. They have plenty of insects to eat in the property. They'll have vegetation to eat in the property. They'll have 2 supplies of water, because I have 2 ponds. And I plan on having additional water, like little mini water features all over the different gardens. So they'll have that. They could get into the vegetable garden, and if they want to, take out some peas or, jump on a cucumber, more power to them. Let them do whatever they want. So hopefully after a while, after a couple of years of breeding them, they will try to establish an actual population of these pheasants, which I think is going to be pretty awesome. And especially if they get friendly enough, which might never happen, where like I could throw food at them and they don't just take off running or flying or whatnot, and they just live in the yard. You know, once they start breeding in the yard, I think they'll start living in the yard. But until then, but one cool thing about this guy and his wife, or his female hen, ringneck that I have, they actually got out of the pen, and then I opened the pen, and then when I started coming towards them, they ran back towards the pen. They ran inside the pen. So who knows? Maybe they'll stay in the pen. They know in the pen there's food, there's water, right? There's shelter. So maybe they will hang out in the pen. Now, with him, right now, I have two females, right? One female is just a traditional ringneck, just like this guy. And then the other female is a melanistic, right? Which is pretty awesome. It's black, but it's really black, but it's iridescent in the sunlight. Really produces some crazy colors. Even this guy right now, I mean, we're indoors, but if you see him in the sunlight, it's amazing. Also, when he sheds his feathers out, I could use his feathers to tie flies and stuff like that for when I'm fly fishing. And I don't have to purchase them. I could use his feathers for other things. So I do collect his feathers when he molts, and then I use them for different things. Like I said, like fly fishing, making fly hooks and stuff for fly fishing. Yeah, so I'm going to put this video on pause. I'll give you some final thoughts, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, before I give you my final thoughts on this whole pheasant breeding thing, just want to show you the female. Very pretty bird. You know, she's also skittish, so I got to hold her pretty tight. Really nice pattern. Obviously, does not have the colors as the male, but still a very beautiful bird. She's a little bit calmer than the male, but she's still skittish. At any point, she could try to jump up and try to run. But I'm holding her legs, and I'm kind of hugging her to prevent that from happening. But yeah, so going back to the final thoughts, I definitely want to, so they start producing eggs in February, right? And I'll probably get about 40 eggs from these pheasants. So the 40 eggs, you know, even if I get maybe 30 that hatch out, I usually have a really good hatch rate. I get 30 that hatch out, I raise them, maybe 5 or 10 die, just I don't know, from not eating, beating each other up. There's a lot of different reasons why chicks, especially pheasant chicks, because they are a little carnivorous, end up dying. So I'll do my best to raise as many as I can and prevent them from killing each other. Then throw them in a pen, let them build up, you know, get bigger, kind of the 10 by 10 pen that I have the pigeons in currently. And then once they've gotten bigger and they're doing a lot better and they're ready to go, I'll clip their wings and then release them into the property, and hopefully they'll stay. I just got to make sure I keep a feeding habit. And this this year around, what I'm going to try to do is let them out hungry and then throw food back in the pen and see if I could train them to go back in the pen. So if I could start training them to go back into the pen, or maybe even kind of hanging out with the chickens, then the chances of them staying will definitely go up. All right, so yeah, that's my final thoughts. I hope you liked the video. If you got a kick out of it, definitely give it a like, and you know, share it with your friends. Also, I'm trying to build up the channel, so if you want to see more of these videos, definitely subscribe, and you know, hopefully I'll catch you on my next video. All right, have a great day, and I will I will wrap this video up. Thank you.